kill himself. He was only in his maybe mid-30s, 40, right around there, and then after that, the drugstore just went downhill. Well, that's news. I never knew it turned into a restaurant.
Yeah, somebody who knew it was a drugstore told me that exact same story. Not as much detail, but that the guy who owned it was in an accident and got killed, and he was on a motorcycle. So, yeah, we got the same place. Well, I have never been there before when it was a drugstore or until now. But, yeah, it's now Bear's Smokehouse, and they got really, really good barbecue, and it's kind of like cafeteria style. You go in, and you tell them what you want. They've got pulled pork, they got brisket, they've got all kinds of sandwiches, entrees, and whatever. Then you move down the line, and they've got a whole bunch of sides, and you pick what you want there, and then go around the corner and pay the cashier, and then you sit down one of the many tables in it. So it's kind of like a fast food place or cafeteria, but man, that I had the brisket, and it was excellent.
Well, if I'm ever down in Connecticut, like maybe this year or next year, uh, I'll have to check it out. If you walk out of the restaurant towards Route 75 and turn left, which is heading south, I was the fifth house on the right.
Well, you could have been walking to barbecue for lunch every day if you were still there.
I know. I only had to walk home from the Ramada one time, so that wasn't too bad.
Your date didn't show up?
Too much refreshment? No, just kidding. That's a long story. You bring back a memory. My date didn't show up. I was actually there on a date once, and my sister didn't know she was there, and things were a little at odds, and she came walking by and started screaming. You're bringing back horrible memories.
Your sister was screaming?
Yeah, she was really ticked off at me and started yelling at me in front of everybody.
And this was at the Ramada?
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay. I mean, a long, long time ago when you were kids?
More like adults. You know, this is, I don't know, 20 years ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, enough of that. Well, anyway, they got really good food there, and they're talking about having their lunch in there again. They move it around a bit because people are coming from all over Connecticut for that, and try to pick something in the middle. We've eaten in Avon, we've eaten in Bloomfield, and now over in, what is that there? Is that Windsor Locks? Windsor? What is it?
You are in Windsor until you cross the Route 20 bridge there, where the Ramada is.
So Windsor Locks and Windsor are divided by the Route 20 connector?
That is correct.
I see, okay. Well, I'm glad that Doug has joined us, and I was texting Tom today. He said he's studying and he's going to take his extra exam. Well, his plan is to take his extra exam at the league in early April, so he may be joining us in about a month or so, too.
Well, that's good. The net is expanding.
Yeah, it was really odd that a guy who knew Tom showed up on our net for the first time, and we even got around to discussing it enough that he realized, that we knew Tom. So that was really kind of weird, and especially since it was Doug's first night. I don't know, interesting, but it looks like everybody's having a ball.
That's the suffix AL call sign?
Yeah, Roger, K2GAV.
KNYXP, the voice of New Hampshire, with good modulation.
Well, you are lowering it slowly here, so it's less distorted than it was before. What does my audio sound like?
K1FFK.
Your audio is perfect.
Well, I asked because the furnace turned on and the air return duct is right above my shack here, so I'm hearing some air rushing sounds in my own ears here. I was just wondering if the mic picks it up at all, but I guess not. Here's a story for you you'll appreciate. Wes came over and he said to me, hey, on that computer thing, do you think there's any chance that there's any way to find out if what the part number is of a New Holland farm attachment? And I said, yeah, sure, probably. So what do you got? So he gave me the model of the unit, and he wanted he was hoping that his dream was to have an exploded parts diagram of the clutch on the drive shaft of this farm implement. And guess what we found? Exactly what he was looking for. It even printed out a parts pictorial exploded of exactly what he wanted, including part numbers, and I clicked on it and showed him what the prices would be if he bought them online. He was really amazed that you could get that kind of information off the internet.
Yeah, you can find out just about anything you want. Well, I mentioned, I don't know if you picked it up last night. Our phone went out of service on Saturday, and of course took the internet with it. And it was, of course, I reported it. They're not really working on the weekends, so they said it'll be on by 6 o'clock Monday. So it was out the rest of the day Saturday, all day Sunday, and most of Monday, and then finally the guy showed up here, and you know, you can go out to the jack out on the outside of the house, and you know, you can plug in a phone and tell if it's you know, if it's inside your house or it's the phone line. It turns out, I guess in the center of town, which is just a couple miles away, there's some sort of I don't know what it is, setup for the phone company, and all the connections go through that. And he went in there and he called to make sure everything was working. And when I asked him what was wrong, he said there was found a wire that was either disconnected or broken or something.
Wow, you still have a wired landline?
Oh yeah. Why, what do you have, fiber optic or something?
Well, I was thinking that maybe the reason the phone went out was that it wasn't paid for.
The phone has got to be paid for, and you must use 530 oil. It's kind of strange because we had used the phone in the morning, and he said, well, sometimes when a technician gets in there to fix one problem, he creates another. It sounds like there might have been somebody in there working on it and disturbed something which affected my phone line.
It's amazing they can think about the wire tracing and the documentation that's needed for figuring out something like that. Think about how many connections there are of that copper between your house and the eventual switch somewhere.
I know. What I can understand that a little bit better than I can understand where all of this information, the exploded diagrams for the equipment is all stored. Where is it? Where's it coming from?
Yeah, especially in the olden days. I mean, before computers and stuff, there were probably rows and rows of binders you had to go through. A lot of it could be documented with text because it's a cable number, from to and so forth. But I mean, to trace a particular circuit from the side of your house all the way back to the switch must go through a whole bunch of different connections.
Yeah, it does. A few years ago, there was a water problem getting into a connection somewhere. Every time it rained, I had what sounded like an AC hum on the phone line, and boy, it took a long time for them to get that straightened out.
Well, with fiber optics and slicks now, they can drop a fiber down a long ways and put a little box out by the houses, so the copper is not as long as it used to be, and there aren't as many connections. But of course, if you lose the fiber, the whole neighborhood's got no phone, so you pay a price for that consolidation. Anyway, yeah, I'm just trying to think. I thought I did something else today. If I think long enough. Oh, I did some. No, that was yesterday. I did laundry yesterday. Dottie did laundry today. Oh, I know what I did. You're gonna love this. I had lunch and then took a nap.
Hey, good for you. I slept till 9 this morning, but I haven't had a nap in a while. I was going to say, I ran a backhoe this weekend. I think it was one of those warm days. I hadn't run it since probably December on one of those warm days, so got it out, tried to do a little work with it, but I dropped a tree into the little pond and it's frozen right in there. I was trying to pull it out, but at least it got the juices flowing in it.
Alrighty, well, Mike was just asking me if you had started on the base for the MA40, and I'll tell him you have.
I'll tell him the backhoe's down until the weather gets a little warmer now, probably in April.
Yeah, I get it done in the spring, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, you remember when you were here and you and me and Jim were looking at something over there by the garage?
Roger.
Well, I added to that, so I'm proud to say that, but I'm not going to go into any details.
to the source of things or the destination that they went to?
The source. New equipment.
Oh, okay, of course. Alrighty. Well, yeah, I was just going to play around with the radio a little bit and then head back in the house. And frankly, 40 sounds like crap. So maybe I think I'll just give up, shut it all down, and head back in the house now. I've been playing around with the weather stations. You know, over the years, I've collected a number of different cheap weather stations, and it turns out all of them were Accurite brand except for one, which was a LaCrosse, and the LaCrosse one died. Anyway, without going into too much detail, I was wondering, of all of these Accurate displays, can I run them all off of one sensor? That way, they're all, displaying the same data. And did some experimenting today and found out, well, two of my older Accurates will run off of one sensor, and I ordered something new that should work off the new sensor in addition to what's here now. So I'm going to end up with just probably, hopefully, two sensors out there, and lots of displays of weather and forecasting and stuff. I'm really getting into this weather stuff. K2GAV.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I've got both. I think my little outdoor thermometer is an Accurite I got in the shack, so I can tell what the outdoor temperature is. But well, okay, you want to go in? I'm going to watch some TV at 8:00. Just kind of, it's kind of muddy out here. Can't do too much, but I'm certainly looking forward to spring. And we'll catch you again on the air, maybe randomly. I usually get on between 7 and 8, although, not religiously, so maybe I'll catch you again one of these evenings.
Yeah, I ran into W1GQQ today on 40 and told him we missed him yesterday. He said he keeps forgetting about it until about 8:30, and he goes, oh, shoot, I did it again. So eventually he'll get there. And, oh, God, there was something else I was going to say. But anyway, I'm heading in, and I'll talk to you later. Oh, yeah, I know I was going to mention it's Super Tuesday, so let's go find out who won what. K1YXP from K2GAV. Good night.
All right, 732. This is K1YXP, and we are clear. Thanks for the use of the repeater.